We're back with episode number 12 of the Edge podcast. Today we've got two property gurus in. So we've been showing you all different types of value on this podcast so far. We had the X Factor guest on last week, and now we're bringing in another facet that we haven't explored before because we want to deliver some more value to you guys. So we've got Phil and Rob joining us today. Both been extremely successful in property. We're going to explore exactly what they do, and we're going to show you how you can get involved in the game. All right, thanks for joining us, guys. Nice to have you on.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Good stuff. So we'll get started I know that you guys are sort of coming together and joining forces. What do you both do? Like what do you both bring to the table?
So I started with just investing in property. So me and the wife got a young family, decided we wanted to start building a property portfolio. So that's what we did. And as you start doing that sort of day to day, you get contacts, you start building up your knowledge, your understanding, and you get more deals that you can take on. So what I started to do then was package those up and start helping other people and selling those deals to other people. Was that
because there was essentially too many coming up that you couldn't take advantage of, and then you thought you could monetize it another way? Yeah,
so I guess when you start out, there's only so many deals you can take on before the money dries out. Or at least it's tied up for a period of time. And then to continue to build those relationships with, let's say, estate agents or other deal sources, you need to keep taking their deals to keep them coming back to you. So if I can take all of their deals, either for myself or for someone else that I know that would want it, then I could. It
keeps your position as like a good client, good clientele at the end of the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I'm coming at them as someone that's invested myself, but I've got a load of people I'm working with or I'm connected with that are also looking for these types of properties, and I know they stack because I've already done that. So
sort of just another opportunity that you can explore and take advantage of. Exactly that.
So then the more deals you'll feed into people, they come back for more. They tell other people.
It's like spider web, like the network just keeps expanding.
The web, and it just grows and grows and grows, and before you know it, you've got this. You're looking for hundreds of deals at the same time, and then you can start selling multiple deals a week.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Got it. So you work on the deal side of it.
That's right.
Now I understand you work on the finance side. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's how I started. Actually, I was a mortgage broker to begin with. Started off as an apprentice, and it was a friend of mine actually called me and he said he was working for an estate agent, and he said, "There's a role here for you. Take the interview. I'll get 500 quid if you get the job." So I turned up, fell in love with it, and just everything excelled from there. Really, I was not put in the best office, so I really had to learn all the knowledge of the lenders, all the criteria, and kind of made me good. To be honest, so it was a blessing in disguise. Hard work, but paid off. So and then from there, there's a thing that always sticks in my head: ask and you shall receive. I ask so many questions. So never be afraid to ask any questions. So I'm really warming up now. So so that was my thing: ask and you shall receive. So I just asked so many questions. How'd you do that? And how did you place that? And who did you place that with? Then all of a sudden I discovered bridging, and that's where things really got to the next level.
What does bridging mean for anyone because I don't have a clue?
Cool. So what bridging is, short-term lending. So when you typically take a mortgage, 25, 35 years. With bridging, it bridges a gap. So if you're buying a place at auction, you've got rules, 28 days to complete. You're not going to get a mortgage done in that time. It takes too long. Around about average 3 months. So when you take a bridge, you can get it done between 2 and 4 weeks.
Okay.
So it's
basic for anyone who needs cash quick.
Very quick, Still got to put your deposit down, and there's a few different ways. So I'm going to go into it now and bore you, but with a mortgage, pay your monthly payments. With a bridge, the interest is typically all up front.
See, that was going to be my next question. Why doesn't everyone bridge? Well, that explains it.
There's a thing with bridging where they think it's really expensive. If you compare it to a mortgage, of course, it certainly is higher. But it's a weapon. You got to use it at the right time. You don't just go and get a bridge when you can get a mortgage. You got to use it at the right time. And I think I'm one for all these sayings all of a sudden. And in property developing, so you want to get that property, it might not be mortgageable.
Yeah.
There might not be any running water, the bathroom, damp, the kitchen. Yeah. You're not going to get a mortgage on that, but you'll get a bridge.
Okay.
So a bridge, even if it's higher, on average 3 times higher, it's a necessary cost if you haven't got the cash.
3 times higher, is that the interest?
Yeah, interest, fees. I mean, sometimes you're looking at running the road 1% a month. But if it's allowing you to buy that property, do it up, sell it.
Yeah.
You've made your money. There's a saying, you don't look at the cost of your shovel while you're digging for gold.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's more expensive. But I discovered it by accident. I had an introducer while I was doing mortgages.
Yeah.
And he introduced me to bridging. And I said, it's fantastic. Again, how do you do that? Where should I go? What should I do? And he taught me how to leverage the money better with bridging. So I had someone over here, and then I had the bridging. I had a meeting one day, and I thought, this guy was bringing what we call BMVs, below market value.
Yeah.
So if something's worth 100, we're getting it for 75.
Yeah.
When the market was allowing us to do that, you know, things are quite priced now.
Yeah.
So with the bridging lenders I used, that discount was used as your deposit.
Got it.
So you're almost putting no money down.
Got it.
So it was I was dealing with one person here, one person there. I just put them together one day.
Yeah.
I said, we need to be talking. Yeah, and I bought a lot of properties that first
time.
year. Yeah. I wasn't buying them for your normal buy to let 25% deposits. Yeah. Stamp duty, solicitors, valuation. I was buying a house for $5,000 a pop.
Yeah.
So if I had some inheritance or I raised some money from somewhere, or credit card, I used to use credit cards a lot.
Yeah.
I'll go into that later, but I was buying houses on credit cards.
Yeah.
You know, so I was really leveraging and asking you shall receive. You ask me, I'll tell you.
So is that what creative finance is, like, in what you do? Is this what the main facet of it is?
Yeah. I think credit cards, people have started introducing that into their courses now.
Yep.
As creative. Credit cards in business, you have a black area, white area.
Yeah.
Credit cards are very much in a grey area.
Okay.
So you can raise some money on your credit cards. I'll show you how to do that as well. And if you're going to use that for a new kitchen, new bathroom, you flip that property, sell it.
Yeah.
Just pay off your credit card.
Yeah.
And then they'll lend you more the next time.
Yeah. Okay.
So you
just like a rinse and repeat.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Got it.
Use them for the right thing. If you're going to use it for a holiday, then you never got yourself a debt.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the banks are a little bit
hesitant.
Okay. People abused it back in the is it 2007 and 8? You know,
Literally.
wasn't me by the way.
So you work on the finances side, you're on the deal side. Now that makes sense, but like, what is it that you guys actually do in property? Like, how are you making money, building a portfolio? What are you doing?
So what I do, I'm bridging broker, property mentor, and investor, active investor. So my strategy is using the bridging to buy the properties, run down, or something I can add value to, sell the properties, and do that with such a turnaround, it almost becomes, got to be careful with the word, but passive.
Yeah.
So, and I show people how to do that as well. So I've monetized how to use bridging to buy properties with little to no money down.
Yeah.
Phil comes in and helps me find these properties with a discount.
Yeah.
And then I show people how to do it.
Makes sense.
And I hold their hand throughout the process.
Yeah, makes sense. Is there anything you want to add, Phil?
So I guess from my side of it, it's more, I'm an investor first, but then because I've started to see the benefits of investing, I am actually really passionate about helping other people do the same.
Yeah.
So I've learned lots about how to build a property portfolio, but also how to easily get hold of those deals and help people through the process. So I'm now a coach. I sell those deals as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, investor first mainly.
Got it. So how did you get started?
So for me, it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago, I was basically just asking myself the big questions about what I really wanted to do in life.
Yeah.
You know, you have those moments.
Yeah.
And I was having kids. Just had my second kid, and you start to think about, right, do I actually really want to work in the normal capacity?
So was you in 9 to 5 at this point?
9 to 5.
What did you do?
So I'm a management consultant. I've done that for nearly 15 years before this point. And, through government, through financial services. So, I was earning decent money. Had a good career and very career driven. I was always looking at the next job thinking, right, how can I get that person's job? How can I get that person's job? Because that was what was motivating me. I hit sort of a brick wall and I was looking around and I wasn't really feeling it anymore. I was thinking, there's got to be something bigger and better than this. And I started getting a little bit obsessed with property, doing the whole podcasts, listening, turning up to the free webinars, and just really educating myself, books and all that sort of stuff. And because I was stuck in a mindset for years and years where I just wanted to pay off the mortgage as soon as possible because I thought that was the best thing to do. Mum and dad would tell me that was the great thing, all that sort of stuff. And you put the sort of being mortgage free on this absolute pinnacle, like it's the best thing in life. And I realized that logic was flawed. So just literally turned that on its head and said, right, I'm going to grow a property portfolio and basically take all the money out of this house that I can and start investing it. Because if you start investing that, putting it to work, I know, I can see now, I can run the numbers, I can see I could have 3 or 4 deals. And then I know now, because what I'm learning, I could turn that into more. So already then in 3 years, I've seen capital growth. I'm getting a regular cash flow month to month from the rental income. So, and that's been able to replace salary and now monetizing other elements as well, and coaching, portfolio building sort of it's helped me do what I'm doing now.
So are you above, like, let's say salary wise, are you above your management consulting now with what you do?
Yes.
And added benefits outside of that, like, do you have more freedom, more flexible, more time with family? Like, what other perks have come with it?
Absolutely. So as I said, I've got 2 young kids. I do the school run. My wife's full time in the business as well. So we spend more time together than we might have. Some people would say that might be a bad thing, but for us, that it works. It's what we wanted to do. It's the life we wanted to create, and we're creating it. And it's just the flexibility around the edges. So we've been traveling a few times this year. Not asking for permission from your boss, all that sort of stuff. It's the perks of investing in property. But I wouldn't say it's there yet. We're not. It's not happy days every single day. That would be absolutely lying if I said that. We've got multiple deals going through at the moment. That can be stressful. Trying to get builders lined up can be stressful. Something was meant to complete 2 weeks ago. It's still going now. So
there is still stuff that comes with it, but from a broad perspective, you're better off for it.
Million percent.
And that's like one of the main things about this podcast. Is that, like, a lot of people, doesn't matter like what your situation is, like you said, you do the school run. How many of our listeners and members of Aftermarket who are in that exact same situation and like they're still stuck in the 9 to 5, like you resonate with them. You're in the exact same situation. You've been able to escape the 9 to 5 and now pursue something and build something much bigger, which I know a lot of our audience want to do.
Yeah, I see it as well at the school gate. So there's grandparents dropping the kids off because mum and dad are at work. I don't want that.
That's one of my biggest motivators. That, like, I want to be in a position where when it comes to, like, when I've got kids, like I want to be around. Like I don't want to be like the person that was never there. Like, I want to be hands on all the time. And I think if you've got that, like, it's so valuable.
Yeah, and it's the glimpses. They'll just run to you in the car park. That's cool. Like, you can't put a price on that. So you talked about money, but like that. That's worth so much more.
And again, that's it. It's not all financial benefit. This is improving quality of life as a whole.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, makes sense. So what about you, Rob?
I was thinking of something else then. I was just literally what Phil was saying, dropping the grandkids off at school because their parents are at work. I've completely forgotten what it's like. It's bad. I'll probably cut this bit out, but And when people are saying, "Oh, the price of milk's gone up," I was like, "Has it?"
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just so detached from it. I couldn't imagine getting up early, and I mean, I had to get up at 10 to get here today. I just can't believe like getting up at 6 or 7 to go to work. For some other guy who did take the risk to start something.
That's literally that's what it is.
I haven't worked in years because I don't feel like I have worked. I mean, I've done all-nighters, getting some sort of action course done or worked late or travelled, but it don't feel like work, does it?
And that's it. When you enjoy it, doesn't feel like work. Like for us, every day, like what we're doing, it's just part of because I've been doing it for so long before uni. It's just part of my day-to-day life. It's like a routine. I don't really see it as work anymore. I'm not doing it for anyone else. It's only to my benefit.
One of the things to think about though, in property, is everyone expects the results really quickly. You go into property for long term. It's not about everything instantly overnight. It's about thinking the foundations I put in place today are going to pay me for the rest of my life. So you don't have to worry about what age we might have to get the pension and all that sort of stuff. You hear it every day in the news now. Like people are struggling with, the energy bills going up, where they're relying just on pension. Like I don't want that. Why worry about that then, or that sort of stuff? Just put the foundations in now. And then you'll be sorted if you make it there.
And that's it. And like anyone who especially our younger audience as well. But even it goes to show anyone could get started, and I think it would baffle me if people want to be reliant on their pension. Why everyone should have that mindset that you've just explained, where that you don't have to worry, you don't want the stress, because I don't want to get to 60 years old, well, saying that, when we retire, it's probably going to be 70 odd by the time I retire.
I
think it's 170 now.
Literally, when I retire, I don't want to think right, my life is now restricted to this, whatever my shitty pension is. I don't want that. I want to know that I'm clear and I can do what I want.
I think average age is 73. Are we really worried about 3 years? You know what I mean? Live life now. Enjoy the moments you've got. If you've got kids, make sure you're there for them, like you said, and think about where you want to be whilst you're young enough, fit enough, able enough, all that sort of stuff. And property is one of the routes. It's not the route. It's one of the routes, and long-term wealth is important as much as everything else.
And I love it. And I was just thinking, then it came to my mind. We've seen so many members that have made good chunks of money over the past few years, and then they go into property. And I think this is where probably a lot of the value is going to go. People that are reselling now or Amazon, wherever, they're building up that capital. This shows you what's possible beyond that. It's probably the next step onwards away from reselling, and sort of not passive, but leaning towards that at some point. Where you've got a stable income, let's say.
So one of the big things is about assets. So building assets. So you start to build money, earn money, and you think, right, I can afford that car, I can afford that holiday, but that's dead money in one respect, because it's gone. It's gone once you bought it. Buy the asset first, earn money from that, and then spend it on liabilities. If there's anything you can take from this, it's that, because the assets will go up in value. They'll pay you every single day when you're asleep, and then you can afford all the flash stuff.
You can do it when you're
and know that it's going to be there next week and the week after. So it's not just it's just not a one-time
it's
hit.
not a short-term thing. Let's take it back to actually more about exactly what you guys do. So how are you making money from property? Because we've talked about what you do with the financing and finding deals, but how are you actually making money from property?
Shall I go?
Yeah, go on. I went last time.
So I've got a rental portfolio now. So I earn money from that every single month. And then I've also got the deals that I sell that I mentioned about. So each deal can be sold £3,000 to £5,000. So someone that wants to invest in property is looking for something. They look around, can't find immediately what they want, so they go to someone like me who's already invested in there, know they've got contacts. already check the numbers to make sure they'll make money from it and go, yeah, I'll take that, and take the fee. And in property, 3 to 5k, it sounds a lot of money, but you pay solicitors, you pay legal fees and all that sort of thing. It's just another fee. And as long as there's enough money in the deal, which there always will be, I'd only sell a deal that I would take on. That that's, you can make money that way. But the other thing we do is we coach. So I said about sort of passionate about helping other people into property. I've talked a little bit about how the benefits I'm seeing from doing that already. As I said, it's a long-term thing. I feel like everyone should have one eye on property, if not both. And naturally, some people just don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to find it. They don't know how to fund it. They don't know how to analyze it. So we set up a program where we take a property newbie and we'll help them secure a deal within their first deal or their next deal within 90 days, and that's guaranteed.
And this is literally me, because I get a lot of people who come to me and say like, oh, why have you not done property yet? Why have you not done this? And the honest answer is because I do not have a clue where to start. I have no idea. Like I will, like when I want to get into it, like I will need that hand-holding process, and that's what you guys do.
Yes, so you're the person on the end of the phone when that person's sat there completing their solicitor's form that can't understand the lingo, or they're trying to finance it, or they don't understand this fee or whatever it is. You can work it all through, and it goes right from the start of getting out there and finding the deals with them to the point where they've got it now, they need to refurb it, they need to sell it, or they want to rent it. We take you right through that process so that someone can feel confident enough and knowing that once you've done it once or twice, you're set then. Your clients aren't with you for a long period of time. They might come back for deals, but they're not with you long periods of time, because once they've done it once or twice, they're off.
There's not going to be any significant changes in variables from deal to deal that they wouldn't be able to deal with.
Exactly,
Got it. So when you do like your buy to rents and you're building your own portfolios, like how are you so you say you're buying them below market value. What are the properties like? What are you having to do to them? And then what are you expecting to get in terms of returns from these portfolios to make it enticing to you?
So there's lots of different ways of investing in property. It's worth saying that straight away. You got your standard sort of vanilla buy-to-lets, which I think you're referring to there. You literally just buy something, get someone in it, receive a rent. That you can do that. It's probably what I'd class as an old school strategy. How a lot of the older landlords have operated for years and years, and now there's looking at different ways of doing it. So the strategy I really focus on it's called buy, refurb, refinance. So the focus there is buying.
Is this that thing where it's got is it like BRR? Like
BRR.
That's it. I've seen it on Facebook ads.
Yeah, you got it. So what you're doing there is, if you've got a trade in head, you'll understand this. So basically, you're buying in low and trying to cash out higher. So you're buying it below the market value. You're buying it less than it's worth, and you can do that because someone needs to sell at pace for whatever reason, loads of life circumstances. You'll take it off them, you complete really quickly. You can then add value, again, multiple ways, add a bedroom, modernize it, just make it nicer. Big off extensions, whatever you might do. And then at that stage, you refinance. So as part of this, you might have gone onto one of the bridging products that Rob's gone, and then go onto a mortgage if you're going to keep it, or you just put it on the market and sell it.
At the new value, the done up value. So 100, do it up, now it's worth 150. So then when you put it onto a mortgage, it's at 150. So you've paid off the initial bridge.
Got it. So makes sense.
So that's your exit strategy.
And the magic there then is you've put 50k into the deal to make it happen, 20k, 30k, 40k, whatever it is, depending on the numbers of the deal. You could get all of your money back out. So you could end up with this cash flowing asset for the rest of your life, and the money that you've put into it back in your pocket.
That's insane to even comprehend. You don't. I wouldn't even think that that's a thing.
And then that 50k can keep going round. and again and again, and you can get wider and wider. So you take
Essentially,
on
it's
2
like
to 4.
recycling a base of 50k.
Exactly.
Some of them you'll make money as well. So let's say it used to be better, but say that 50 that you're recycling, one day you make 60, so now you're 10 up.
Yeah.
Still use the 50, then you do another 60, until now you've got 100.
Yeah.
So now the 50 you was recycling, you're now doing it twice.
Yeah.
So you're recycling 2 lots of 50.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're doing 2 houses a month.
Keep growing.
Yeah, and expand.
Yeah.
As well.
Because you'll get so many people, and this might be you, for example, go, how the hell have they done that? How have they got to that many properties so quickly?
Yeah.
It's BRR.
Yeah.
It's understanding, getting in and sell it, or like refinancing at the higher amount.
So what's the timeline on that typically?
So it depends on the refurb really. So you can, in theory, if your discount's good, literally just do it straight away. I've got one going through at the moment. I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm literally just going to refinance it day one, and I'll make profit from it.
How is that possible though? Is this just because you're getting good deals?
Because we bought it less than the market
But
value.
how are you able to do that? Is this like, how is this happening?
Now he's interested.
Now he's turned up. So really the focus is on the motivated seller again.
Okay.
So why would someone want to move at pace?
Yeah.
So it might be a couple have split up and they want to get rid of it. It might have been someone's passed away and they want to get rid of it. It might be someone's moved into a home. It might be someone wants to relocate at pace. Let's say this was yours.
Yeah.
And you've decided, right, I'm packing my bags and I'm going to go and move to London.
Yeah.
And I just want rid of it. And I offer you something, 20k less or 20% less.
Yeah.
You might take it.
Yeah. So are the estate agents feeding you this information?
So we go around the estate agents.
So you go direct to the owner?
That's it, yeah.
So how does that process work in terms of you getting in touch with an owner? Because how isn't the norm, wouldn't they, for me, I'd think that wouldn't the estate agents, they'd never want you to be directly in touch with the owner with this. So how are you actually building that connection?
Essentially, once the estate agents have got their fingerprints on it, you've got to negotiate through the estate agent.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a deal. You won't get a deal because they're working to get the highest price to get the highest commission.
Yeah.
That's just fact.
Yeah.
So they'll bring in as many viewings as possible so that you're going to bid, Rob's going to bid, I'm going to bid, and last and final offers, and then it's up here. You've got to get far away from that as possible. So the only way to do that is to go direct to vendor, direct to the seller. So you don't have to do that yourself. You can do, but you can go to deal sources that are doing it. So a lot of people they've got businesses that are run, Facebook ads, whatever it might be, people that want to sell at pace, get rid of it. And then, cool, I'll have that one. That's how it works. So you're just skipping around the estate agents because
people have made a career out of it. People have made a living out of it.
Yeah.
Putting out these letters direct to vendor, doing these ads, getting the vendors to come to them through their content. Yeah, they just focus purely on that. They sometimes don't even have their own portfolio. They just make their constant 3,000s, their 2%.
Yeah.
If you're selling a high rise, they'll probably put 5% on it, and it's more than you're going to be getting in a normal job.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an entry level where people start, but some people get so good at it, don't go to what's called the next level because they've made that their level and put it on steroids. Yeah, I've been there actually. It was 2 or 3 grand a property. But if you do 10 of those a month, it's way more than average. So
that's insane. I didn't even know that was a thing.
And you can still make money.
Yeah.
You explained earlier that there's people that turn properties around, make something that doesn't look very nice into something nice. That'll make money as well. Because again, you're still buying it at this, and you can make it into this. So it's But if you're going in low, you don't have to do all the magic at the top. You don't have to have huge trades teams to knock on another house on the back of it or whatever it is. You can just make it really saleable, in good condition.
So you can do bare minimum, but it can have big impact.
And then you can all pick up a paintbrush. as long as you're not knocking through walls and that sort of stuff, you know, it's less skilled stuff. It's easier to do, and you know, you can make, you can add 5-10 grand quite easily in value.
Yeah. Right.
You guys, I mean, do you guys have sources, or you guys are the sources as well
For what?
for what you do with the arbitrage?
So we have people that work for us,
Looking
that
constantly.
basically find all the products.
I guess that would be the equivalent. Would you think that's their sourcer doing it? Except they work for you. These people that we get are like free agents.
So our basically deal finders, people who do the product researchers, are working exclusive for us. Sometimes they work for a few other groups, whereas your guys, they're doing it for themselves and then just selling it to you guys. Like, you have to pay for that access. Got it. Makes sense.
But if you can get that direct,
Saves you so much time.
if you can get that direct conversation with the seller,
Yeah.
you know, you can negotiate a deal.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's just normal negotiation then, because you've taken away the noise, you've taken away the people, the other bidders, and all that sort
Do you
of
not
stuff.
find people like a bit apprehensive about doing a deal direct with someone else like yourself, like in terms of maybe going through like an estate agent? Because I know if it was me, like having no experience, I'd think like if someone just came to me and said, right, I'm going to offer you 100 grand for this apartment, and then I'd just be like, nah, I don't believe it. Like I wouldn't. How do you deal with that, or how do you not face that?
You will get that.
Yeah.
You'll naturally get that, and it's a numbers game then.
Yeah.
So you know, you've got to get enough interest.
So how does it go through though? Like, is it basically like, do you have a team of solicitors that you work with that will then reach out to their side and do it all like without basically leapfrogging the estate agents? How does it work? Like, when you say you want to go buy, what's the process?
So it's the same. So you become the estate agent in the process.
Okay.
So the estate agent, once you've agreed the deal with the estate agent, they write up the memorandum of sale.
Yeah.
So as the deal sourcer, you're cutting the estate agent out and you're doing that instead.
Yeah.
So you'll then instruct your solicitors, I'll still instruct my solicitors.
Got it.
And the process is exactly the same.
Got it.
But it's just, I know when I'm approaching you and offering you a deal that you're not now paying the 2% that you might have paid to the estate agents already. So that's a little saving that I know I can make off you.
Yeah.
But I also might know or be able to understand that you might want to get rid of this quickly. And if you go onto the general market, it might take 3 months, it might fall down. I'm telling you I can complete in 28 days. And
Got
then,
it.
you know,
Yeah, that's where it's enticing for people.
yeah, people will go, yeah, I want the money back in my pocket.
Yeah, because it's not always a bad thing. I always say, like, run towards the problems. You got a problem. So, like Phil's example, you're going to pack up here and go to London. But that place that you have your eyes set on, that you really want, that's going to be good for business, good for amenities, everything,
Yeah.
perfect location. But they really want a quick purchase. And you don't mind taking a hit here because it means more to you to be in that specific place.
Yeah.
There's not a bad problem as in you're in debt and you need to get rid of the place, you're being repossessed. Sometimes it's just a little minor hurdle.
Yeah.
Well, these guys are going to give me less, but they've guaranteed it's going to get done in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's just people, it's stress-free.
Keep the chain together, yeah. Also, I've had one as well. Man, that place was worth like $290. I got it for $190. And you think, what the hell? Why would you get it so cheap?
Yeah.
They had already exchanged in Spain or something like that. And they had days.
Yeah.
So we just came in, gave them a solution to their problem. They were fine with $190. If they weren't, you know, we're not bad people. We're not going to twist your arm and say, take it. It's an offer.
Yeah. It's on them at the end of the day.
It's a solution. You have a problem, we have a solution. So they were able to progress. They didn't lose their deposit wherever it was that they were moving to. It might just be a little problem that you've got to put a solution to.
There's a good part there actually that Rob's talking about, knowing your numbers. So 30% of deals fall over in normal conveyancing process. So you buy a house now, there's a 30% chance it won't complete.
Well, I was mentioning to you earlier when I bought the apartment that I bought, tried to buy, fell over.
You'll go into a chain, one person will mess about, or the valuations might come in lower. And then one person pulls out, the whole chain's under pressure.
Yeah.
So you can come in as that rescuer, but all of a sudden that person's turned into a very motivated seller.
Yeah.
Because they've already found their dream house. or their dream location they want to move to, they can't afford to let it go.
Yeah.
They've already put money down. They might have already bought furniture for the new house. They might have already had. It depends what they're going to. So you just know you're being an opportunist. You know there's going to be opportunities, and you're jumping in, and you take them, or you pass them to someone else that will. And that's the best thing, is once you've got people that are also looking for these types of deals, you can find them for them. You can give them to them, and it's just.
That's the thing, Jack. Not every hero wears a cape.
On the BRR, so that's one thing that you do. Are you guys working, like, doing any other methods right now?
Yeah, I got such a deal. It's not always about sources and direct to the vendors. It's sometimes just being in the right place at the right time. And my builder was in the right place at the right time. We were buying a place, the figures didn't fit, and the actual owner did the viewing. And he said, well, I'm actually selling next door, it's not on the market. He said, can I have a look? And this was on for like 109. Next door, I think it went for like 49,000.
Yes.
I wasn't even there. I think I was in another country.
Yeah.
And he said, Rob, I said, I don't even care what it looks like.
Yeah.
You're not scared of anything. He can build anything.
Yeah.
And he said, should we get it? It's like, there's a bear shit in the woods. Yeah, of course we're going to get it.
Yeah.
Got it, done it up. It's on the market now, like 137, sold, it's going through. And I think he spent about 30 on it. So it's just about being in the right place at the right time. Having people on the ground, having a big network.
Yeah.
They say that, don't know what your network is, your net worth.
Yeah.
Your network is your net worth. And I have to do that a little bit afterwards as well. So, but again, it's called the 3 foot rule.
Right.
You tell everyone what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you don't know who's got what money. You don't know who knows who. I've had people ring me and say, my auntie at her church is selling a below market value property.
Yeah.
She just needs to get gone quick.
Yeah.
They didn't know to ring me
before
I started saying I'm in property.
Yeah.
So you got to talk about what you do. That's also how you get a deal as well. So you got your sources that find it for you, and then you got your own network as well.
Yeah.
Just let people know what you do, and it'll come to you.
Makes sense. Do any of you do Airbnbs? So that's something that I've been interested in. And I think a lot of people in the audience, like, we see like a lot of people now, like even people my age, who are doing properties and just Airbnb-ing them. And then we see, like, I see ads all the time on social media for Airbnb is the new way to make money. Like, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Run us through that.
So the important thing to say there is that BRR is kind of like more of a philosophy rather than a strategy.
Okay.
So you can apply BRR to like all of these other strategies. So you can do Airbnb, you can do houses of multiple occupancy, you can do your standard buy-to-let,
social housing,
social housing, all these sorts of things. It's kind of like, it's philosophy principles. If you follow these things, then however you decide to rent that property is kind of what the strategy is.
So what do you follow predominantly?
So I've got a mixed bag. So I diversify. That's one of my things. Is trying to make sure that I'm not over saturated in one side of the coin.
So just for a bit of context, how many properties have you got now?
I've got 12.
12. And what's the split looking like?
So I've got flats, houses that are just on standard ASTs, as they call them, which is your standard tenancy agreements. I've got HMOs, houses of multiple occupancies, student house or young professionals, where people let a room on a room basis. So you might have 5, 6 or 7 rooms in a property that they share. Shared kitchen. So there's massive benefits there. But your question was about Airbnb. So we got a few of those, and they're good, or they're best in the areas where you get the weekend traffic, sort of holiday makers, but also your day traffic, so your contractors. So it might be people that are working on motorways, or your contractors that we were talking about before, that might be management consultants or traveling around, and they're looking for pads during the week. But then you might have a family that move in the weekend. So in terms of occupancy, you've got a good chance of getting 7 days a week covered with one turnover. Someone covering Monday to Friday, someone doing the Friday evening, Sunday slot. But that's done on a nightly rate, similar to like what you'd pay at a hotel. But it's changed because people, when they're away, are looking for a home away from home, and the Airbnb solution's given that. So it's becoming really profitable because you can charge a hotel rate, but you might get someone that stays there 28 days, and all of a sudden that's like 2 or 3 months rent in 1 month.
So that's what I was going to say. So like, even when I used that home from home, when I used, like I was saying before we started filming, I used to go to Paris like every week, and for me it was, hotels weren't even in the question. Like, I want an Airbnb, I want my own space, that's all I consider. And I think a lot of people are definitely moving towards that now. Something that I'm interested in is, with your Airbnbs, how many nights do you have booked out of the month to cover like mortgage and stuff like that?
So on average, you're probably looking at sort of 30 to 40 as a break-even point.
30 to
40% occupancy.
Okay.
Yeah. So on a sort of monthly basis, you're looking at, if you got 1 week out of 4 filled, you're doing all right. Like you're going to pay the bills.
I still think that's crazy to think, like, because, and if you've got somewhere where, if it's seasonal, you know that it's going to be booked out, let's say 90% of the month.
Yeah.
Like, you're just churning so much cash.
Yeah, the average is 70%. Average Airbnb is 70% occupancy, so you can see the markup.
Yeah.
The markup there. But there are a lot of places, when people think Airbnb, they tend to think holiday resorts, and that can be good. You know, over the summer holidays, 100% occupancy right through, top dollar, because it's school holidays and all that sort of stuff. But come February, they might only get a week here and there. And then as long as you can deal with that peak and trough, then that's fine. But like I was saying, if you pick somewhere like Manchester, you've got people that are going to come here the weekend for the sport events, the music events, for shopping, for nights out, for whatever. And then you've got the people that are going to be here during the week for all of the different employment that we can see around us as well. Yeah. So your chances of getting that 70% are really high. Yeah. And you probably won't see the big February drop like you might do in Cornwall. But so again, it's about diversification. Nothing, I don't ever say there's one strategy better than others. I think it depends what you're going after, because that's a good cash flowing strategy. If you're going for money month to month, go for Airbnb, go for houses of multiple occupancy, because you'll see more money month to month, definitely. But you might not see the same amount of money in capital growth and all that sort of stuff. So when you bring all those factors to the table as well, there's different things to think about.
It depends on basically your appetite, what your preferences are.
Your goals, what you want to achieve over what time scale, how much money you've got to start out. Because the big thing there as well, like Airbnbs, you've got to kit them out. So like you need everything. You know, basically like it needs to be a house that you can live in. So kettle, Hoover, you know, every mop, all that stuff. Like you don't need that for a rental. So there's more like add-on costs, setup costs there as well. Management's quite heavy.
I was going to ask about this. So this was the next thing. So you've got 12 properties now. Yeah. And let's say because they're all diversified into like different methods of generating cash for you. Is it hard to manage? How do you even?
So we outsource all of the non-normal properties. So when I say normal, I mean like you're just normal rental agreements. They're the easiest thing to manage in the world. I would never outsource that. Giving 10% away to a management agency, I think is just a waste of money, because I get maybe one call a year, if that. You know, it's really easy. Some tenants stay there for years. You haven't got the changeovers. Houses of multiple occupancy, if you've got 6 different rooms running at different rates, you might have a changeover every couple of months. It could be quite a lot of work.
So if there's a changeover, are you responsible for getting someone in, or does the management company?
Depends. So you can approach a letting agent, and you can get someone to just get you a tenant find only. You can do a tenant find and management, so they'll do the running costs, collect the rent, pay you, all that sort of stuff. Attend to the maintenance calls if there's any of those. So there's different levels. levels come at different costs. Obviously, the more they do, the more they'll charge you. So again, it depends how much money you've got in the pot to start with, about how much money you might want to give away, how much time you've got, how local the properties are, because some of ours are really local. So again, those are the ones that were like, oh, we might as well just look after those. But if we had some couple of hours away, I'm not getting in a car for an issue. I'll just have a letting agent to sort that. So it's so variable. There's not like one answer for everything. But it's I would say then the HMOs and the serviced accommodation, again, it's especially serviced accommodation. You might have 2 or 3 changeovers in a week. So the changeover there is you're changing the linen and all that sort of thing. Think about what a hotel does. You're doing that in that property. Unless you want to go down that route and become that person that's changing the linen and all that sort of stuff, just get the management company in it.
Well, even with something like that, this is going to be like a very minor question, but I'm just interested. Stuff like let's say changing the linen. If you've got a management company doing it, do they supply all of that? Or are you also having to buy more stock in preparation of that for that to be done?
So again, some of them do it on different packages. The management company we've got does everything. You can get people now to come in, set it up. So when I talked about all that stuff they need to buy, because you need to become really good at IKEA and all that sort of flat pack furniture. And God, that's painful to think about if you're doing it like multiple times. So there's teams of people that will come in, do all that setup. You don't even have to set foot on site. And then they'll do the management, they'll set it up on their booking websites. They'll manage all the nightly booking. Because again, think about hotels. I need to cancel that, I need to change that rate. Someone's got to be at the end of the phone to organise all that. So they deal with all that for you. I'm locked out, whatever it might be. So your question was about
sort of like, are they handling all the finer details? Like it was going back to like the linen change.
The linen, So they can provide everything, whatever you want. There's a service for everything.
Oh man, I see. Again, it's another thing I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, and people create these sort of like mini teams. So you don't have to create that mini business yourself. There's a service for everything in property. But again, you're giving away profit. So it depends whereabouts you are in your game, how much time you've got, what you want to do and what you don't want to do.